Many or any games on this map in PvT? I veto it personally as a Terran.
0, Nate. All passion is gone.
You like to play on Frost, huh? Like everybody else this season.
No, I'm kidding, of course. I played quite a few games, and I couldn't agree more to what you say. You know, we know Pigbaby loves observers. Well, he's going to have to produce a lot of them if you want to cover all the air or all the air paths on way stations, as there are so many ways for medevacs to fly across the map. Of course, there are Zelda watchtowers that can make your life a little easier, but still, there's so much airspace that perhaps, you know, I think they would ever go for a one-gate fast spend into a Stargate, just to get a Phoenix or two out there. This could very well be the map, because as awesome as observers are, it's almost impossible to see everything if you have the long spawning locations. However, we are loaded in our very first game of the WCS America Premier League Season 2 Grand Finals, and it is close by spawn location, Nate.
That's right, we got a close game, close by our first player in the bottom of the left, the blue Protoss. It is the Royal Runner, Pigbaby! And his opponent, a legend in his own right in StarCarft, who wants his first WCS American title from Red Bull, it is Bomber!
Now, for most Terrans, I would say that they prefer the other locations. However, for Bomber, and knowing Bomber's unorthodox playstyle, I actually think he might be quite okay with this. If he wants to go for something similar, like we said before, maybe a Reaper into a 1 Rex, fast expand 2 more Rexes. This is a little bit better, because you don't want to walk across the map with slow Marines if you have the other spawning locations, that's for sure.
And you know, it also opens up the door for Pigbaby to do any form of early Zealot, Stalker, Mothership Quartermaster, a very short distance for him to go. So suddenly the spawning locations can change whatever they had planned before this game. You have to take into account what your opponent can do. Bomber, he knows, we've actually seen him shy away from a lot of Reaper-based builds, but this Barracks in the gas, he recognizes that this short distance, but the layout of the main base as well, gives him a really good opportunity to get a lot of scouting in the early game.
Yeah, out of all the maps that have been added, I would actually say this is one of the few maps out there where Reapers are still pretty okay. You know, there's this nice little ramp on the south side, or all these main locations. There's quite a bit of surface area where you can hop in, and you can also hop out over here on the right side of the main base. So seeing him go for the Reaper over here does not surprise me all that much.
No. Very standard on a map like this, and when you're playing against an opponent like Pigbaby, we've seen him stick to primarily one strategy so far in his Protoss versus Terran matches, but we still don't know what else he could have up his sleeve. There's still very little information about his playstyle that's available to see. Makes him a difficult opponent to scout, so if Bomber makes too many assumptions at the start of this series, things could fall out of hand very quickly.
Definitely. Close eye, he's going to have to keep his eyes wide open. As I really just think this is an awesome best of 7 on paper. Both players definitely capable of going all the way. Like you said, we've seen it so many times when this Protoss player comes out of nowhere and just has the run of his life, ends up winning the tournament. But every now and then, at least with some of those Protoss players in the past, you kind of feel it coming, because you saw them play a couple of big series and you was like, wow, these guys, they're actually ridiculously good. If you play Protoss that well, you could potentially just end up winning the tournament. Pigbaby, I really did not see it coming. I expected him to maybe make the round 16, maybe even the round 8. But yesterday, you know, defeating Tasia, that is something. If you would have told me that name, I would have said you're crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Tasia's run was just so incredible. And to think that you have to play against the guy who beat him, and he's the favorite player of the whole tournament, well, that's a tall feat, but Bomber's confidence has shown that he is not afraid of anything. He's not afraid of any odds. He's not afraid of anyone that's betting against him at this point.
The opening for Bomber is definitely in the line of expectation. The Reaper into fast expand, adding 2 more Rexes. But now, oh, okay, this is the Stargate opening, and the Reaper is actually going to find it immediately. Bomber catching a little bit of a break over here. That is awesome. That is exactly what you are hoping for if you are a Bomber. So far, so good, I'd say, for Bomber. I think this is everything that he wanted.
And the thing is, if Bomber was looking at the games that Pigbaby played yesterday, this is not what he saw. He saw robotics facilities, he saw macro play, he saw a very defensive Pigbaby. Pigbaby is not going to give Bomber the luxury of making any reads or predictions based on the only games that you can really watch of him. So the Stargate means there's a lot of airspace that he can use to run around. If he's Reaper, it'll watch for the front, try to see if any units leave, But what's most important is that Bomber keeps his defensive set of climbs, which shouldn't be too hard due to his 3 barriers production.
No, absolutely not. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if he still decides to, go on a little adventure. I think he's going to drop an eBay like real soon. He's going to miss a turret in both mineral lines because just as a matter of fact, it's also really hard to keep track of oracles in this map because there's so much airspace, especially around these bases. The islands are basically next to your main. Oracles can fly around for days. So if I was Bomber, I'd definitely throw down an eBay. He's going to miss a turret in both mineral lines. And then go on a little adventure with those bio units that he has, and that pretty quick stim pack that's already 60 seconds in.
You make a really good point, Roddy, and I think what Bomber is setting himself up to do is just that, an early marine push with his stim. What the? What? No.
Yes.
He's building a fleet beacon. Is there any way you misclick and build this?
No.
Okay. You actually know a surprising amount about Tempest against Terran in the early games.
Yeah, but not with
2 starport. What? Double. It's not here. It can't
double carrier rush. Has a West style, baby.
But that was on the biggest map. This is like the smallest. This is like Steps of War carrier rush.
I don't know. This guy just keeps blowing us away with ridiculous builds. As you can see, the Oracle is going to try to pick away at a couple of these SCVs. Against the one that's building the bunker. If this Reaper scouts it, Bomber is going to ask himself, like, is this real life? This can't be for real.
Oh, he jumps up, he sees the fleet beacon. There's a carrier on the way. He's rushing carriers, Rotterdam.
This is not your Atlantic. This is not Fun Day Monday either, guys. This is WCS America Grand Finals. And we just see someone opening up with an Oracle straight into carriers. Well,
I don't believe it.
If I was Bomber right now, I'd produce nothing but Marines and run across the map and have the time of my life.
Seeing carriers already makes this maybe top 10 grand finals ever.
Imagine if Bomber brings like 2 or 3 SMBs now and just like goes for a missile turret contain. How amazing does that sound? All jokes aside, that would actually be quite okay, wouldn't it?
The thing is, this push has so many Marines that Bomber,
this is so much DPS.
I don't think you can play a macro game past an attack that Bomber makes because he's either going to kill the first carrier and everything else, or like run up the ramp, or the carriers kill all the Marines and then Bomber can't stop a follow-up counterattack.
I must say, Big Baby has got a surprising amount of gateway units out of his single gateway. He got like 3 stalkers.
Bomber's going to charge this ramp. The first carrier's not out yet. Zealots are cleaned up. He steps forward, kills the Oracle, but the Nexus is here. He's bringing his probes. The stalkers go down. The first carrier is out of the map to defend against these Marines. It's being pushed back. The probes beat shielding perfectly so far, and I don't know if 5 Marines can beat a carrier. I never get in this situation.
No, they won't, but will they get a lot of probes? I do kind of feel that they got quite a few, fuel for their efforts. The carrier does clean this up. However, we have to ask ourselves to cast the question, Nate, at what cost?
Plus 1 attack, he is committed. He is as committed as you are ever going to see somebody to double Stargate carrier. And the craziest part is, as many workers as you lose, carriers take so long to build, he can actually afford to still produce 2 carriers.
Well, not right now, but soon he will.
Upgrade, man. Yeah, he does have to replace the mothership core. Bomber killed 14 workers. But at least he knows what he's up against now. And this is one of those situations, normally like, okay, I want 3 tech labs, 2 barracks, this is how I was told to build my racks. No, he wants a lot of reactors. He needs Marines to fight these bad boys.
Yeah, this is going to get as many Marines as possible. We see the carrier upgrade being fired up as well in the fleet beacon. That's going to help out a lot, make the DPS so much higher. But I don't think that Big Baby will have anything else than carriers. And as amazing as they are, we see a hidden command center go down, by the way, in the right bottom side of the map. I feel the damage output of 30, 40 Marines. If he has like 1 Colossus in the mix, that changes everything. But there's just no way that he can afford it right now.
Yeah, this is one of those times where, as cool as this composition, as cool as this strategy that Big Baby's going for can be, the Terran handbook says hold down the A key once you select all your barracks.
Yes.
Build a lot of Marines and stim. And this is there's no area of effect damage. So you're relying on keeping the Marines away from the carrier so that the interceptors can do their dirty work. But at some point, you have enough Marines to just kill all the interceptors.
But maybe with 4 carriers and photon overcharge and the carrier upgrade, and I believe +1 already, right?
Yeah,
Oh, you mean a crystal let the one cloud used to go home? Were you looking for a way to leave Palamecia? Leave the hero alone?
No,